Many times when you experience fear, you tend to think it's just you, or nobody has it worse than you. But you should know that I've been there, where you are, standing at the edge, feeling the weight of fear pressing down, convincing me that I wasn't enough, that I couldn't do it. But here's something I've learned the hard way. Fear is a lie. It's not real. It's just a story we tell ourselves. When I look back on all the times I was paralyzed by fear, I realized something incredible. It wasn't the world holding me back. It was the fear inside my own head, telling me I wasn't capable, that I would fail. But every time I stepped forward, I proved that fear doesn't control me. And I am telling you, it doesn't control you either. The dreams you have, the goals you want to achieve, they are on the other side of fear. Fear isn't there to stop you. It's there to test you, to see how badly you want it. So the next time fear shows up, don't listen to it. Don't run from it. Walk right through it. Because on the other side is your strength, your growth, and your greatness. You are stronger than your fears. Trust me. I know. Dear God, I come before you with a heart full of hope and longing. For those of us struggling to find meaning in the chaos, give us clarity. For those searching for purpose in the world that often feel lost, guide us forward the path you've set before us. Grant us the courage to pursue our dreams, even when the road is unclear, and the strength to rise when we stumble. Help us believe in the power of our own potential and remind us that success isn't just what we achieve, but who we become in the process. And Lord, for those yearning for love, either it be love of self, of others, or your love, fill our hearts with compassion, patience, and understanding. Let us never lose sight of the love you have already given us and the love that awaits us in the world. In moments of doubt, be our light. In times of struggle, be our strength. We trust in your plan and we surrender our fears. Amen.
I'm changing who I am. I'm making a new plan, rearranging my life, and I won't look back ever again. Days on, I'll keep moving right along, and I feel like the pain in the past, it needs to stay in the past. You gotta take off the cast. I wanna feel like I'm a new person. I wanna have clear vision and purpose, and I feel like the pain shouldn't last. If you can move on and past the things that make you feel bad, and you can change in your brain, I'm certain. I've done it before, and man, I'm not perfect. I'm changing who I am. I'm making a new plan, rearranging my life, and I won't look back ever again. You can't stop what's moving. You can't stop what's moving. I'm changing my life, and I won't look back ever again.
Focus on your breathing and allow your mind to calm down. Then say the following affirmations with a still, calm voice in your head. I am enough, just as I am. I trust the journey of my life. I am worthy of love, success, and happiness. Every challenge I face is an opportunity for growth. I am in control of my thoughts and my peace. I release fear and embrace trust in myself. I attract positivity and abundance into my life. I am aligned with my purpose and trust in the process. I trust that everything is unfolding for my highest good. I am at peace with who I am and where I am. I am open to new possibilities and opportunities. I radiate confidence and calm in all situations. I release all doubt and embrace my inner strength. I am deserving of all the good things life has to offer. I trust in the timing of my life. I am worthy of success and abundance in every form. I am in control of my thoughts, my actions, and my life. I am constantly evolving into the best version of myself. I choose peace over worry and love over fear. I am grateful for every step in my journey. I am grounded, content, and at peace with myself. I forgive myself and release all past regrets. I am deserving of love, kindness, and compassion. I trust my intuition to guide me toward my highest good. I am worthy of all the dreams I have in my heart. The Stoic Handbook, 2nd edition. Introduction. The Philosopher. Everyone can be a philosopher. Everyone. We all have that ability. We were born with it. Human beings are rational, thinking, reasoning creatures, and nature has made us that way. As nature created the giraffe to reach higher, and the cheetah to run faster, and the bull elephant to be stronger, so did it create the human being to be wiser, potentially. In ancient Greece, the birthplace of philosophy and philosophers, a person was known as a philosopher by their way of life, not by their academic credentials or scholarly publications. Philosophy was a highly valued topic in conversation and thought, but more importantly, it was an ideal to be embraced and practiced. Life was lived better with philosophy. The same could be and should be true today, only most of us can be bothered. We use just as much as our reasoning ability as we have to, and no more. Years after years, we struggle to feed ourselves and our family, pay the mortgage, keep the car running, wear nice clothes, and if there is any time or money left over, we spend it on countless distractions and mindless diversions that contemporary society is only too happy to offer. And as we get older, we don't gain in wisdom, we only gain in wealth. It's always been like this for most people. We accept this priceless gift of higher intelligence as our birthright, which it is. Then we spend this inheritance on grabbing and grasping at far more than we really need. At the end of the day, when the weary mind is ready to rest, we let it drift away by watching yet another episode of our favorite TV show or cheering on a millionaire athlete to score another goal. Acquiring what we need to live on this planet is not difficult, but we have made it so, and our awesome intelligence is obsessed with a life of consumption and endless busyness. That is normal. At least, it's normal in that it's common. Still, there have always been a few who make the effort to rise above the common herd because they are amazed by our reasoning faculty and the promise of wisdom that they choose to develop a noble mind rather than wallow in the mind of accumulation. They choose to live closer to the gods than to the beasts in the barnyard. These people we call philosophers, lovers of wisdom. But as soon as we decide to pursue wisdom, that is when the difficulty really begins. Everyone can be a philosopher. Everyone can be wise. But how is it done? What is the best way to achieve humanity's highest goal? Unfortunately, finding the path, let alone walking upon it, is not that easy. It should be, but like so much in our contemporary world, the pursuit of wisdom has become unnecessarily complex. If we study philosophy at the university, we are at the mercy of the professionals, the academics, and it's been 2,000 years since they cared anything about our goal. If we study wisdom with the theologians, another problem arises: faith. Sooner or later, religions deliberately turn their backs on the pursuit of truth and the exercise of reason and require the mind to believe in faith. That is why religions are called faiths: Jewish faith, Christian faith, Muslim faith, etc. So what do we do? And why should we be bothered? Hardly anyone else gives a damn. So why should we? What does wisdom promise that makes it so great? And who wants to be a philosopher anyway? It sounds boring and hard. The promise. Hitchhiking through the Carolinas in the Deep South in 1964, I couldn't help but notice the sharecroppers, shacks lining old country roads with miles and miles through tobacco and cotton fields. The shacks were occupied by Dutch poor people working like slaves 100 years after abolition. from sunup to sundown, earning a wage that was barely enough to stay alive. There were no luxuries here. Children were barefoot by necessity, and shoes were worn only for Sunday school, if they were worn at all. Everywhere one looked, there was depression and gloom, almost everywhere. Every couple of miles, there was a sharecropper shack that was different. It was built the same, probably by the same builder, but it didn't look the same as the shack on the either side of it. The unpainted, cracked, and dirty clapboard siding was painted with whitewash, not regular paint. Mind you, that would be too expensive. This was cheap, white paint mixed with water so that a gallon might paint one wall side of the house. There would be flour sacks dyed a bright color and cut for curtains instead of faded newspaper or anything at all. The front yard would be picked up and wrapped, and flowers would grow in flower beds by the front door. And to one side, or picking around back, there were always vegetables growing in a weeded garden. This is what philosophy promises. It doesn't matter so much about your race or place in society as it does the responsibility you take for building and maintaining a noble character. You take what you have been given and do the best you can. Even if you were born in a sharecropper shack, you can make it a happy and lovely home. You were born with the ability and the choice to become great with wisdom. And regardless of all else that befalls you, there is always one thing that is in your power: the nobility of your character. Seneca, the great Roman Stoic, said that only a fool will go to buy a horse and carefully examine the saddle and riding tackle, but ignore the horse. It's the same for you. The circumstances surrounding your birth and place in your world are your saddle and riding gear. The nobility of your character, that which is inside of you, is what really matters. This is what philosophy promises, what Stoic philosophy teaches, and what the Stoic handbook is all about. The Stoic tradition. Stoicism is a living philosophy. What that means is that Stoic philosophy is more than just great thoughts organized into a complete and coherent vision of reality. It is first and foremost a philosophy to live by, a practical application of ancient wisdom, a way of life, and a guide to the choices one makes in this life. And from its beginnings, it was the only philosophy addressed to all human beings, regardless of gender, race, or social class. Even women and slaves were welcome to follow this path, to be treated as sisters and brothers, a notion considered laughable by other philosophers who, along with Aristotle, classified them somewhere above brute beasts and below free men. Stoicism is alive. The reason it is still alive after more than 2,300 years is because it is universally adaptable and available to people of every color, class, and culture. And something else, it evolves. As the human race learns and grows, so does our philosophy. It evolves because of the strength and conviction of the Stoics themselves. Stoics have a tradition of independent thought, and we like it that way. We of the Stoic school do not follow a tyrant, as Seneca said. This is not to say that we have an eclectic hodgepodge of assorted ideas collected here and there. It is not. Its inner core of orthodoxy moves very slowly, gradually expanding and refining with the ages. Its foundation is secure because it is built upon the power of a single idea. The goal of life is to live in agreement with nature. That is our motto. Live in agreement with nature. Live according to nature. Live in harmony with nature. Zeno of Citium, the founder of our school, coined the phrase and concept, but he wasn't working alone. He was following a path already begun by two of the greatest thinkers in the Western world, Heraclitus and Socrates. Zeno is the father of Stoic school, and Heraclitus and Socrates can rightly be called its grandfathers. But before we take a look at the great history, let's address some frequently asked questions. The best quote describing our place in history that I have ever seen, E.W. Unlike Epicureanism, which quickly flows into a fixed dogma, Stoicism developed and became more complex, comprehensive, and plausible. It forms a system of interconnected doctrines confirming and supporting each other. Plato, Aristotle, and Epictetus never managed as much, and the Stoics' successes in the history of philosophy have produced nothing more comprehensive and systematic. Frequently asked questions. The following are frequently asked questions I have been asked or have asked myself. Question: what is Stoicism? Answer: Stoicism is a wisdom philosophy. What that means is that it's a philosophy about how to live life and live it well. Our philosophy was founded in Athens, Greece, about 2,300 years ago by a man named Zeno. After studying with cynics for several years, he studied at Plato's academy, then started his own school at the central market in Athens. Zeno started his school by standing on a porch in the market and talking to anyone who happened by. In time, he had a regular group of men standing and talking philosophy there with him. The porch became his school. The word for porch in Greek is stoa, and the men who met there to talk philosophy soon became known as the men of the porch, or Stoics. Stoicism became the preeminent philosophy of ancient Greece and Rome and flourished for nearly 500 years. It reemerged as a popular philosophy in the Renaissance when people returned to reason rather than faith to find answers about how to live. Today, our philosophy and those who live by it are alive and all over the world. Question: is it true that Stoics repress their emotions and feelings? Answer: no. This is an old misunderstanding. Emotions and feelings are normal and natural, and sometimes they are even essential to our survival. There are times when being afraid and running away is the wisest course of action. Where the misunderstanding comes from is the Stoic belief that emotions are based upon a judgment. All of us, including Stoics, have emotional reactions to events that can cause anger, grief, and fear. But after the initial instinctive reaction, it is our judgment about the event that either inflames or cools the emotion. As Shakespeare said in Hamlet, there is nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so. Shakespeare was a student of Stoic philosophy, by the way, and he often used Stoic themes in his plays. We believe in our judgment that makes something either good or bad, not the thing in itself. If we are unhappy, then it was some judgment that inflamed the emotions and made us unhappy. Happiness is everyone's desire, and Stoicism is all about increasing your happiness and living well. Question: what things do Stoics consider good and bad? Answer: only virtue is always good, and only the lack of virtue is always bad. We do not believe there is any evil in nature, only in the behavior of human beings, and that comes about when people deliberately choose what is harmful to themselves. You see, we don't believe anyone can harm you, only that you can harm yourself when you choose not to live according to nature. But we don't condemn others for lacking virtue because they are already punishing themselves by their behavior. No one can hurt me because I alone am responsible for the nobility of my character. And that is the Stoics' highest ideal, the noble character. Rich men and women are a dime a dozen, but a noble man is rare and the greatest of all. Stoicism teaches you how to build a noble character. Question: the Stoic motto, live according to nature, sounds good, but what does that mean exactly? Answer: Zeno, the founder of Stoicism, was the first to use that phrase, live according to nature. And what it means exactly is that Stoics look to nature as their guide to life. We believe that nature teaches us everything we need to know about how to live well in this world. That is why Stoic physics is so important. In antiquity, physics was known as natural philosophy, and by studying nature, we come to know ourselves and what makes us happy and successful and wise. Later, another great Stoic, Panaetius, expanded the original motto to include not just nature in general, but also the nature of the individual. Each one of us has a unique personality, including different talents and capacities we can develop to achieve our highest ideal. So, living according to nature also means to live in accordance with one's own nature. Epictetus, a Roman Stoic, later said, if you have assumed any character beyond your strength, you have both demeaned yourself in that and neglected one which you might have filled with success. The wise live according to both human nature in general and one's individual nature in particular. Question: are Stoics allowed to enjoy such pleasures as good food, wine, art, music, making love, etc.? Yes, of course. We are pantheists. The Stoic God is in all things. We value our reason above all, because that is our special gift from nature. But our Creator is also in the eyes and ears and nose and taste buds and kinesthetics as well as in the mind. Question: do Stoics believe in God? Answer: yes, in a manner of speaking, but we do not all believe in God in the same way. All Stoics are pantheists because nature is our God, literally. But you can be an atheist or a deist or an agnostic and still be a Stoic in good standing. The key to what kind of Stoic you are depends on whether you believe that the intelligence and processes of nature are conscious or unconscious. Is nature conscious or unconscious? Human beings were created by nature and have consciousness. Are we the only ones, or is our creator also conscious? The early Stoics believed that nature was both providential and conscious. These were the deists. But when Stoicism was adopted in ancient Rome, there were a few who believed that nature was unconscious. These were the first Stoic atheists. Today, we have Stoics who are deists, atheists, and agnostics. Such diversity is perfectly acceptable. The Stoic community has a large tent and we are tolerant of disagreement within it. Question: do Stoics believe in life after death? Answer: we do not believe in any one certain answer to this question. If you are looking for certainty, there are two ways you can go about it. The first and most reliable way is for you to die, then you will know for sure. The second way, one that you may consider less drastic, is to join a religious group that promises eternal life. Unfortunately, this is a promise that they cannot prove. If you have faith in a religion such as Christians or Muslims, then they will tell you what to believe about life after death. If you demand evidence, reason, or proof, then nothing is certain. We can neither empirically prove nor disapprove life in any form beyond the grave. No one can. Religions that tell you otherwise are asking you to have faith in myths, legends, and wishful thinking. Our philosophy never requires such faith. Stoics are more comfortable with disagreement than with faith. And we have always disagreed about this matter. Regarding life after death, we are mostly agnostic. However, we all do agree on one thing. If you live according to nature in this life, then it's highly unlikely you'll have anything to worry about in the next, if there is one.